In this video, we're going to show you how it's possible for an apartment in New York City on a higher floor to have lower property taxes than an identical apartment downstairs. We're going to use an example of a building in Murray Hill, Manhattan to do this, but first, just a quick overview of our platform here at HouseIt. Do check us out. Look at our buyer closing cost calculator, free to use, can give you a detailed overview of what you'll expect to pay on a purchase in New York City. And of course, if you'd like to work with us, we can save you up to 2% or more on your purchase through a buyer closing credit, which is our form of a buyer agent commission rebate. So please do check us out. The URL is below in the description, or send an email to team@houseit.com. So let's go ahead and get started. So back to the topic at hand, we have two units that are in the same building. And moreover, they're identical apartments, as evidenced by the fact that they both have an E in the unit identifier, which almost always means that it's the same line apartment and therefore the same size. Now, sometimes a building can perhaps change shape as you go higher up, so it's not a guarantee that, for example, the E lines will be the same, but we simply just take a look at the floor plan and it's quite clear that they're the same apartment. Moreover, the square footage is also the same. So you would expect the person on the higher floor having a superior unit to pay more in property taxes, but turns out they actually don't. You can see here that the property taxes are actually higher for the lower floor unit, which really doesn't make sense. So we decided to investigate this, and the best way to do that is to actually look at the property tax bills. So let's go ahead and figure out what's going on. So on the left, we have the property tax bill for 17E, and on the right, we have the bill for 34E. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. If you go down to the second page, there's a pretty detailed overview of how the tax is calculated. And the first thing we want to do is we want to actually just see what the taxes are before any sort of abatement or adjustment is taking place. And you can actually see here that both of these are in fact the same. So something else is going on here. The taxes are not higher outright for the lower floor unit. If we delve a little bit deeper, we'll see that essentially below the line item for the gross tax, in the case of 34E, there are some line item adjustments. So one of them is basic star school tax relief, and the other one is the condo co-op tax abatement. So if you're not already familiar with the condo co-op tax abatement, you can check out our website. The link is below in the description. But essentially what the condo co-op tax abatement does is it can reduce your property taxes by anywhere from 17.5% to 28.1%. But this abatement is based on the individual person in the apartment qualifying for the abatement. And this is the very reason why we are actually seeing the phenomenon that 34E is paying less in taxes. The reason is that the person in 34E is qualifying for a number of various reductions in their property tax bill. And that would explain why the headline rate on the listing is actually lower. So you might be wondering, well, when I see a listing, when I see a condo in New York, how do I actually know then what the property taxes are? Is the owner getting some abatement? And the answer is you have to actually look at the property tax bill. Your buyer's agent can help you with this. If you're working with HouseIt, we do this all the time for our clients. We'd love to help if you're interested. But otherwise, you can look it up yourself. Or if you're in touch directly with a listing agent, you can ask them. There is no convention in New York City consistently with respect to whether or not you show, for example, property taxes excluding that abatement or reflective of the abatement. So keep that in mind when you're searching. It's very important to due diligence this. So the answer is ultimately that the taxes are not higher for 34E, or rather the taxes are not lower for 34E, but instead the owner is actually qualifying for several things. So again, feel free to look at our website. We have an article about the condo co-op tax abatement. The key thing about the condo co-op tax abatement, let's pull it up here, is that the property must be the owner's primary residence, and the unit cannot be owned by a business, can't be in an LLC, and also by way of this first requirement, you cannot be like renting it out, and therefore you wouldn't qualify because it's not your primary residence. There are some other items here, for example, like the building cannot be receiving some other building level abatement, but feel free to look at our article for clarity on that, and same goes for the basic star school tax relief. We have an article on the Hassett website about that. So we hope you found this to be helpful. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you have any specific examples of 2 listings where the taxes don't make sense, let us know, send them to us. We'll make another video and walk you through it. We hope you enjoyed today's content, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I'm Nick at Hassett, and we'll see you on the next one.